Hey Juby! It's your first time on YouTube. Say hi to everyone. Come on, say hi. Hey everyone, I'm Rose and this is my 4-month-old French Bulldog puppy, Jupiter, or Joopy for short. I got him during the coronavirus lockdown. So yep, he's a quarantine puppy. And I cannot even put into words what a joy it's been to have him in my life. That being said, I literally had no idea what I was getting myself into when I got him. I knew getting a dog would cost money, obviously, but to be honest, I never actually sat down to calculate what would go into taking care of a dog on a one-time basis and a recurring basis. And I'm actually not alone in this. According to a study conducted in the UK, 98% of pet owners drastically underestimate the lifetime cost of owning a pet. Getting a dog isn't just a one-time thing, it really is a financial commitment for your dog's entire lifetime. That's why in this video, I want to share with you the breakdown of all of the one-time costs that I've paid since I brought him home, as well as all the recurring costs that I'm expecting to pay or continue paying in the future. I've already learned so much just in the few months I've been a dog mom, so I'm excited to share it all with you. Let's first go over one-time costs. First off, obviously there's the actual cost of the dog. This can vary widely, and if you adopt from a shelter, the adoption fee can go up to maybe $300 max. If you get one from a breeder, it could go up to $1,500. And for a rare or show quality dog, they could go up to $5,000, $10,000, even $15,000. Frenchies, which are actually one of the more expensive breeds, just because the way they're born, the mom has to typically go through a C-section because their hips are shaped weird. They're a really weird breed. But Frenchies go for at least $3,000. And I got Jupiter from a breeder, and I know a lot of people are really against breeders, so I respect that. But I would really appreciate if you don't leave any nasty comments about that. I would love to adopt dogs from a shelter someday. I'm fully aware that a lot of dogs need a home, but Joopy was a gift to myself for achieving some really big milestones in my life this year. So yeah, appreciate you understanding. But anyway, now as for the other one-time costs, let's go down the list. First, a crate. It's a really good idea to crate train your puppy and put him in a crate at night, or when you have to leave the house for a bit, because it trains them to hold in their pee. So I spent $30 on a crate. I think it's an absolute necessity. And then bedding. For bedding to put inside of his crate, you could go buy stuff, but I used old towels and blankets that I found around the house. So this cost me nothing, but if you did want to go a little crazy, you could do really high-end stuff like this memory foam dog bed from Casper. I was definitely tempted. I want to get the best for my puppy, but I decided to just go cheap and free in this area. Next, you'll want to get a puppy gate. Puppies are extremely curious, so you will need a gate or some way of blocking off just a puppy-safe area of the house. This will also help speed up the process of potty training because it's very overwhelming to have access to the whole house, and he might just get confused and potty everywhere. And then you won't even find it till like a day later or maybe never. True story. You could spend anywhere from $30 to $190 for a puppy gate on Chewy.com, just depending on how long or nice you need it to be. So Jupiter's was $135. Next up is initial exams and vaccines. As soon as you bring home a puppy, you need to take him to the vet for an initial health exam, and also he needs to get some vaccines. So all this cost me $100. Something else to consider is the cost of spaying and neutering. Now Jupiter isn't neutered yet, and I'm not even sure if I am gonna get him neutered, but if I do, it'll cost at least $300. Next, you might wanna invest in dog training. You could get away with just watching free videos on YouTube, which is what I started out doing, but I had no idea what I was doing, so I ended up signing up Jupiter for training classes. I use this awesome app called GoodPup, and for $29 a week, you get unlimited chat support and one-on-one video training with a professional trainer. So I was doing this for Joopy for 2 months, so that was a total of $240 for training. Then you might want to get a travel carrier. Jupiter goes with me pretty much everywhere, so I bought a really good travel carrier, the Sherpa, for $60. And even if you don't travel, you will probably need one of these to take your dog to vet visits or take him out, so I think it's a necessity. Next, stain remover. Puppies have a lot of accidents. Or at least Jupiter did, and he still does. So you'll definitely want a stain remover. And this could cost maybe $20 and should last you until the puppy is house trained. As for toys, I went a little crazy because I didn't know what Jupiter would like, and I was just desperate for him to be busy and not need so much of my attention. So I've spent about $100 on toys so far, most of which he doesn't even play with. He is kind of spoiled. And he mostly just likes to play fetch with some cheap squeaky toy that came with him when the breeder handed him over, and this like dryer machine ball that we play fetch with. So I would say don't waste your money in this area and just stick with old stuff you have around the house, stuffed animals and socks, things like that. And now for the rest. All the other odds and ends like food and water bowls, $25, harness, $30, tags, $15, and leash, $10. So that's a total of $80 for those odds and ends. And one last thing, if you live in a high rise or you don't have a backyard, it's a lot easier to potty train indoors using pee pads than to have to take them outside all the time. So I did this, but instead of using pee pads, I actually used Fresh Patch, which is a subscription service that delivers a patch of real fresh grass to your doorstep. So I used this for Jupiter just for the first month, just because when he was very little, he needed to go like 20 times a day, and the elevator is really far from my apartment and that would be unrealistic. So I paid $120 for grass pads just in the first month. However, if you want to go a little cheaper, you can just do pee pads, and that would cost about $50 for 1 month. So that's about it for all the one-time costs. Now let's go over the recurring costs. The most obvious recurring cost is food. This is the one expense that any dog owner will have to be prepared to pay for pretty much for the dog's entire lifetime. There's no way around it. So 365 days a year for 10, 15, hopefully 20 years. And also what you spend on food is going to vary a lot depending on the type of diet you choose and the quality of food that you buy for your dog. On the low end of the range of what you can spend is if you feed your dog dry food or kibble. As a rule of thumb, dogs should eat about 30 calories per pound of body weight. So the bigger your dog, the more you will have to spend on food. Based on dollars per calorie calculations that I ran on some popular dog food brands, the monthly cost per pound of body weight comes out to roughly $1. $1 per month per pound of body weight. Now, Frenchies grow to be around 25 pounds. So for Jupiter, it would cost about $25 a month, which is really, really cheap. But if you're okay spending a little more on food, you can also do home cooked food or even raw food. So since Frenchies are prone to health issues, I went with a recommendation from a holistic vet, and I put Jupiter on a store-bought raw food called Answers Pet Food. So far, it's costing me about $140 a month. I wasn't exactly expecting to pay that much for food. So once I get more educated, I am gonna start trying to buy from bulk from a butcher and save money on this. But as for now, he's doing really well on a raw diet. And I know that investing in good nutrition is gonna save me a lot of money down the road on medical bills. Another recurring expense is pet insurance. Although lots of people go without it, I decided to get pet insurance for Jupiter pretty much as soon as I brought him home. It's just cheaper when you get them when they're younger. And the reason why I got it is because I would hate to get hit with a emergency vet bill that costs thousands and thousands of dollars, and maybe I'd end up having to put it on a credit card or something. So I literally just finished paying off a boatload of student loan debt and, becoming debt free. And the last thing I want is to go right back into debt. No. Like, what if Jupiter gets some sort of chronic disease and needs a lot of expensive treatments? I was reading stuff online and I found this one article about dogs who needed bone marrow transplants. They got lymphoma. This stuff happens. And these transplants cost $16,000 to $25,000. And according to this article, more than 70 owners actually paid this. That is freaking crazy. I mean, not the fact that they paid it, just because I'm sure you would do anything to save your dog, but I really hope these owners had pet insurance, because I certainly wouldn't be able to spend $25,000 just out of pocket on my dog. Maybe I'm a little bit of a worrier, but I would really hate to have to make a choice between financial ruin or saving my dog's life. So that's why I decided to spend a little extra money on pet insurance, just to have that peace of mind. So I got Jupiter coverage with FIGO, and I pay $78 a month. There's a $500 deductible, and I can take him to any vet in the world and get reimbursed for 90% of covered expenses. Pet insurance is also breed specific, so it could potentially cost a lot less depending on the breed of dog that you get. For example, the monthly cost on FIGO for a medium-sized mixed breed dog is half the cost. It's like 30 bucks. So let's say on the low end, pet insurance costs 30 bucks a month, and on the high end could be $78 a month. The next major expense to budget for is preventative healthcare and wellness. Pet insurance typically doesn't cover this stuff, so annual wellness exams, vaccines, heartworm meds, parasite treatments, consultation fees, those things aren't covered. So recently I got hit with a vet bill for $413.26, none of which was covered. It was $175 for the vet consultation, $89.98 to run the poop test, $62.53 for a 9-month supply of heartworm meds, and $82.75 for his vaccines. This is all routine, common stuff with puppies, and again, none of it is covered by insurance. So even if you do get insurance, make sure to set aside $25 to $50 a month for preventative care, and that will cover things like exams, dental, parasite treatments, things like that. Another often overlooked ongoing cost of owning a dog is daycare and also dog walking. I really underestimated how much attention puppies need, especially Frenchies. They're very demanding attention-wise. And so not only do I need to take him out like 10 times a day, but he needs a lot of playtime, a lot of love and affection. I wasn't planning to spend money on daycare or even dog walking services, but once I brought him home, I wasn't getting any work done because I was so busy with him. So I recently decided to take him to daycare 2 times a week. I use Rover, which is a really awesome app. I found a place for $30 a day, which is at 2 times a week, it's $240 a month. That is a lot considering that I wasn't even planning for this line item. But again, I hugely underestimated how time consuming it is to take care of a puppy. And you also want him to play and not be bored and just wait around for you all day. So I'm cool with the cost, at least for the first few months until he gets a little bit older and more independent. And it's really awesome because Jupiter gets to play and run around so that when he comes home, he's really tired and just is very mellow. And the daycare sends me a bunch of cute videos. It's priceless. So I will definitely be budgeting for daycare until Jupiter is a couple months older. Another ongoing cost you may not have thought of is travel expenses. So far, I've only taken 1 flight with Jupiter, but once the pandemic is over, I definitely plan on taking him with me all around the world, pretty much everywhere I go, whenever I can. So if your pet is small enough to fit under the seat, you can take them with you on the flight for an extra fee. With United Airlines, it costs an extra $125 to take him with me on the flight, and if you take your pet in cargo because he's too big, the cost is about the same. In 2019, before the pandemic, I took about 5 flights total. So if I were to take Jupiter with me on 5 flights per year, that would cost $625 for his flight fee. Once again, did not really think about this, but taking him with me when I travel would definitely be a lot cheaper than getting a dog sitter. Plus, I would just miss him too much. Isn't that right, Joopy? So that pretty much covers the major recurring monthly costs, but you also have to spend money on treats, chew sticks, just because the best way to train dogs is through treats, a lot of positive reinforcement, and dogs also like to chew on things. They teeth and it will keep you off chewing your furniture. So in addition to food, plan on buying treats and chew sticks regularly. So these kind of things could range anywhere from $2 a stick to $10 a stick. So Jupiter goes through about 1 of these a week. So chew sticks cost anywhere from $8 to $40 per month. Also, don't forget poop bags. It's $15 for a 1-year supply of biodegradable poop bags, but puppies actually poop a lot more than adults, like a lot. Sometimes Jupiter poops up to 3 times in 1 walk. It's quite impressive. So they go through these at lightning speed. So I would say budget $1.25 to $3.75 a month for poop bags. So I think that pretty much covers all the actual costs of owning a dog, at least in my experience. On the low end of the range, this amounts to a total of $370 for one-time costs, plus $89.25 for ongoing monthly costs. And this doesn't count what it costs to get the actual dog, since that can vary widely. Then on the high end of the range, this could be a total of $1365 for one-time costs, plus $603.75 for ongoing costs, mainly if you take him to daycare or not. Owning a dog is definitely a financial commitment, but there are a lot of ways to make it work for your budget. So in general, owning a smaller dog is cheaper than big dogs, obviously because of the food, but also a lot of things you have to buy, like crates and beds, will be smaller. And if you really want to make it economical, get a full-grown dog so that you can skip all the one-time expenses of taking care of a puppy. Being a finance person, I know full well that all this money could go towards investing instead, and that money would grow exponentially, and in a few decades I'd be a millionaire and blah blah blah. But the cost of owning a dog, I think, is an investment too, because it's an investment in your happiness. Since getting Jupiter, I've been getting outside more, I've been playing a lot more, and really just enjoying the moment, and it's really done wonders for my mood and my stress levels. Nothing but good things. I know if I didn't get a dog, yeah, I'll probably have a lot more money, but life really isn't just about having lots of money. It's also about enjoying the journey, and owning a dog is one of the most fulfilling ways to make this journey awesome, this journey that we're on called life. That's it for this video on what it costs to own a dog 101. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know Jupiter enjoyed meeting you guys too. I post new videos every Wednesday about making money, saving money, and investing money. So I hope you will subscribe, and I will see you next week, same time, same place. Bye!